Hi everyone, welcome to ScoreCraft Play Session Live number 38. My name is Goni Peles and I'm joined by Shira Agmon, Taiba Orpin, and Yuval Adler. The plan for this session, and probably also for the next few sessions, is to do some bug testing. The thing is that because the platform I was using on AWS retired, I had to update a lot of stuff. In particular, ScoreCraft now uses a different physics library, Matter.js. So I had to rewrite all of the physics code in the games, gaps, and touch. Also, there were a few bugs in Eat Your Greens and the new scenario codependence, which I think I've managed to fix, but still haven't tested that. So these are the things we'll probably do in the coming sessions. And I'll try to also introduce some new features. For example, we're going to start with gaps in this session. And there I've added a new co-op mode, which I think gonna be interesting to try out. Yeah, so let's get started. So here I've got the game setup of gaps. I think we'll start with the basic setup, and then try with killers, and eventually with the new co-op mode. So I'll send a link to the players in the chat. Okay.
Here goes.
Nice.
That is a lot bouncier than it used to be.
Really?
Even though I've not done gaps in long enough that it just seems worse.
Really, it feels bouncy. There's actually, so that's the thing we're gonna do next.
Is this going to be bouncier mode?
Yeah, so this is medium bounciness, and there is also high and low. So let's do high and then do low.
I think the thing that it feels very different is I feel like the bounce up is quicker and the drop down is slower, so it's more of like that sort of motion, whereas before I think it used to be more even.
Interesting. I do have with this library to do the bouncing manually. To like manually add the force, because for some reason I cannot do I think it's static objects cannot bounce cannot have the bounciness. I think it's called restitution. That's the name of the property in the physics library. So I think static objects cannot have that. Only the dynamic objects, which is the bodies, but I don't want you to bounce against each other. I want so I need to do it manually. So maybe that's the reason. Does it feel less good, or it's just different?
I think just different.
Okay, that's good.
I think it.
Did
Sorry,
you
Yuval?
Yeah, you're a bit
No,
quiet,
I
by the
just
way,
said-
Yuval.
Oh, sorry. I just said it worked all right. Taiba was also saying something. Sorry, I think I have a weird delay. Go ahead.
I feel like it's not. I don't think it's worse, but I think the way that you time it is different because of like. I feel like with all of us, when you get to narrow gaps, you have to anticipate where it is in the bounce as to when you go back, and because of that, like for me, I was always going up and then waiting to drop before I timed trying to move. Whereas I think before, I think it was more even. Maybe I'm just imagining stuff, but where it was more even, like it was easier to try and move less on the bounce up. Whereas because that's quite quick now, it's really hard to kind of do that within the thing. I feel like I'm going to investigate this now and see if it is actually different.
Yeah, let's see. Should we stick with pitch or try another one?
Just for comparison, maybe let's stick with the same one.
Okay, so let's stick with pitch. Okay.
Is this the super bouncy version?
This is now the super bouncy version. I also like the beaches you chose. It felt very nice. Oh, you just
Something
clicked
happened.
start type, I think.
Oh, sorry.
Did I?
I think
Wait.
I messed it up. Oops.
So
Oops, I did it again.
Clicked through that quickly that I didn't even realize I'd started the game.
so the links today begin with Z, apparently.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
There's links.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's click.
Very bouncy.
Oi, scheiße. Right, come on.
Ah,
What is happening to me?
a
I think
reversal.
I'm losing it, you know?
no, these
I
bounces
think
were
I
really
told
bad.
Goni today, I don't know what I will do if I won't win today.
Saying that, I did hear mention of a killer round coming up.
Oh my god, Goni, I'm losing it. It's not. I don't know what I lost my mojo. I think I lost my mojo.
We'll try now with low bounciness.
Can you make it like that I will win?
Is this where it's individual player bounciness?
Yeah.
I feel like there's something quite interesting in the idea of actually like if you were doing multiple rounds, like having a bounciness handicap where like if someone keeps winning it gets more bouncy.
Actually, now it's possible that I'm applying the bounciness manually, because previously, if it was a characteristic of the barriers, um, but now I could like decide how much force I apply for each flare. So, interesting.
That could, like, I'm just thinking with where you get like the bunching sometimes at some of the gaps, that could be really weird if someone's bouncing like super high and then someone else is just like tiny.
Are you?
Oh, sorry. I didn't. I was just listening to
Didn't
what you
even
said.
accidentally click start either.
There
No.
could be all kinds of,
Okay.
like you could spawn random power-ups. So rather than going for a gap, you go for a power-up, and then the power-up could be you stick to the ground instead of bounce.
Mm. Yeah.
Or you know, your bounciness changes. Or
Yeah.
all kinds of.
Yeah. Hmm.
Start.
Yuvala, I
I
should
think
say
so.
that you sound a bit muffled. I don't know why.
Makes sense. Can't fix it right now. Ooh,
That was a close
You
one.
couldn't, Tyler. You couldn't be a friend and let me just mute. I don't understand. I just told you that.
It's against the
Makes
rules of
me feel better, you
ScoreCraft
know.
to. It's against the code of laws of
Ronnie.
ScoreCraft to.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
Ronnie,
Is there a
can the
code of
gaps
ScoreCraft?
Wait.
move like left and right, or maybe even up, down, or something?
I saw. I didn't
Oh,
understand.
hello. Did I-
He asked
think I
if
had
the
a bit of a
gaps
delay. Can
itself like moved
Gaps,
from.
like the walls themselves, can they move left and right, up and down?
Hmm.
Maybe even have like a wavy motion, like
That's
a
what I thought,
Madhouse of
actually.
Mirrors fall.
Because that can be even much harder. Because if you know there is a gap in a place and then it moves to a different place, then you just
Yeah.
running to the next,
Or basically, like
the
the
next
bounce that
gate.
you get as you try it isn't consistent. So you can't like, oh, I'm gonna do that bounce 3 times until I get the rhythm. It's like different
Oh
every
wow.
time.
Mm.
And you
Yeah.
gotta
I
just
think
go with it
there's
because it's mean. This is
saying that though,
it's expert mode, but you know.
if the gaps moved, could you imagine if someone just like dropped and by coincidence all the gaps just like went at the right time, so they just
If
fell
you
the
can
entire
make
way down the game?
Goni, if you can make that it will be me
That would be
that
your
falls,
birthday present.
then
The gaps just
no,
move
I
towards
have a
Shira,
different
wherever
ask
she
for
is.
present. I didn't hear what Yuval said.
The gaps will just
The
move
gaps
to
just
wherever
move
you
towards
are.
Yeah. Okay.
It could be possible. It means yeah,
A lot of work.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm wondering like musically, the, what would
Yeah, I
be
don't
the
think it
purpose
adds
of
much.
this?
It just makes the game weirder.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like at some point we did talk about having more than one choice of gap though, so that there's almost like a higher and low one, or like different routes that you could choose for it.
Yeah. I think in the end, though, it kind of boils down into a binary choice.
Oh,
Like
here's
musically?
a terrible idea.
Um,
Can you do a 2D gap where one dimension, let's say, is pitch, the other dimension is loudness, you know, softer than this, louder than this pitch, that pitch, and then you just walk around a maze. Just a big 2D maze. and everyone needs to I don't know, maybe it's Pac-Man, maybe it's whatever. You just need to navigate something.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little bit like touch, just with
Yeah, just with like a 2D grid and the up, down, left, right mechanism.
yeah, yeah.
I think
Rather
you'd
than
have to be
clock
quite
of, like-
careful.
Hmm.
Sorry.
I think you'd have to be quite careful with the parameters you choose, though, because with the 2D dots, there is always that random one where actually it's kind of almost impossible to get to like certain directions. Because I feel like if you've got like
You have to
pitch
be able to
and
activate.
volume,
Yeah. You
that
basically
kind of
have to
works.
have 4 triggers that can be separate, right? It's
Yeah,
kinda weird.
yeah,
Which at that point gets very close to touch.
Yeah.
Where it's just like some kind of continuous thing around a clock, which is All right,
yeah.
fair enough. Terrible idea. We tried.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, there is something that's maybe for like future work, but that you kind of that the game learns like to differentiate between different sets of sounds. So you kind of train the game to differentiate between different four sounds, and it could be any different four sounds that the player decides or the system decides, and then you could do all kind of all sorts of things like that. Or you find some combination of 4 different sounds that you could differentiate between, like more.
I mean, it could be loud and soft, noisy sounds, and then high and low pitch sounds or something.
Yeah.
I mean, you could even do the exact same thing with pitch if you just had certain pitch ranges. So you've actually got for each of the sides almost like a different sort of pitch bracket, as long as everyone could pitch it within those.
Yeah, but then it becomes closer to touch, I think, with the
True.
just with like quantization of the directions. I mean, it's an interesting conversation, but I wanna add the.
Thank you.
How was the by the way, speaking about the bounciness, did this feel much easier?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so I'm gonna add killers now, and
The question is,
who's the
Shira and
killer?
I always both wear the killers, and I assume it can only be one of us.
No, it could be the two of you chasing Yuval, which is a classic game
ScoreCraft
scenario.
classic. Well, I mean, now that that's been put out there, that's obviously what's going to happen.
Yeah, let's just use the default. So Yuval, you are still low, high. You are going to move left and right using Glissandi, the killers. And Yuval, you have 3 seconds to.
So we are the killers or what?
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
we've decided that we're both the killers.
Okay.
Yuval had no choice but to be the achiever.
Okay.
All right. Oh boy. Well,
Very good.
not much I can do there.
I'm gonna say it. Sitting in a gap is a great strategy as a killer in this game.
Yeah.
I had a tiny bit of a delay, and when the screen refreshed, I was inside of a death
no.
sandwich. All right.
You're already in our net.
I want to try that again with more bounciness, because maybe it would have helped if you had like more room to.
You weren't stuck
Yeah,
in the
potentially.
death sandwich.
Let's actually try it with high bounciness. Let's see if it changes anything, and then we'll move to the. I think it's gonna be fun. The co-op.
Are we
mode.
both killing Yuval again?
Yeah.
Maybe we're killing Gunny.
No, I'm not playing.
He's fine watching.
He's fine watching.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
it's also important that somebody tests like the audience mode, so bugs wise. So I have a good excuse.
Is that the official reason?
Yeah, and the only reason. Okay.
Ach.
There was no way.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, an
Yep.
idea.
He's tough playing against Taiba.
I mean, I'm thinking maybe we should do it again and I should try being an achiever rather than a killer.
Yeah, I mean, an idea that I had now is that if I can detect these situations programmatically, maybe a kind of a portal could appear next to Yuval so that he has a chance to cross the gaps, and then there's like, yeah.
Or if we do touch, if we could push against each other, I guess horizontally, right? Like left and right, so that we have to like go to the gap again. They can't just sit at the gap. And I was like, well, all right, I guess I'll die.
I feel like
What do you mean?
I feel like
Push?
what would
Because-
be really good, just because I think this is like expanding on that idea, so that it's like we bounce off, but I think it'd be really good if it's just the killer who bounced, particularly if it's kind of you can control it by player, because then like if say Yuval gets there, if I were to bounce with like a high bounce to the right, then it moves me out the way and gives him a chance to move through the gaps.
Or just treat us like circles for the collisions. That way, if we have an angle, we push each other left and right as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, like the collisions with circles were not really, less less robust from what I remember. That's
Yeah.
why I.
Probably for the gaps, but yeah, for the players, I wonder. Yeah, I don't know. Something basically.
No, for the players actually.
Thinking of, it's thinking of. Oh, okay. Thinking of something though to, like, once they get me, if there could be some tiny reset, if that makes sense, like some way for, positions to reshuffle. Oh, did you guys lose me?
It's like having coins. As soon as you get the coins, then it gets get more life, And then
I do.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I do think though, like the mechanism in touch where the players like bounce off each other probably would help a lot, because as it currently stands, whenever Yuval's in contact with us, it like the life just drains. Whereas actually having that move away kind of gives him a chance to try something.
Yeah, I think in any case he wouldn't have much because you are really guarding the gap. Even if you kind of bounce him off, there is no way
Not
he
that
can
I'm
pass.
competitive or anything, but it is a great strategy.
as I
But
said,
this is what I mean.
it's very hard
If-
to win Taiwan.
if I bounced off Yuval and it was the equivalent
left
of one
and
of
right,
the
not
high
just up and
bounces,
down.
like right, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that if we're in
Right.
contact there, I was going like that, then the gap's clear, and Yuval has about 2 seconds to try and move through it, and then I'm
So only
following
you
rather than.
bounce, but he's.
Yeah, so he stays where he is, but the killer bounces either left or right based on the contact with the player,
I don't know
and then
if
it's always breaking that contact.
Is it physically possible? Like, because if you bounce and you're both kind of, dynamic objects, you should kind of apply forces to each other, and then you move in different directions. I guess unless there's.
Is this like real world physics or game physics?
I mean, it's using a physics simulation, so I can like manipulate it in different ways. Maybe if it's like thinking about it's like different density of materials, then like if the achievers are much heavier than the killers, then maybe it would make sense.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah, it's I oh, Shira disappeared.
Yeah, she heard something and then
Oh.
said she has to leave.
Yeah. Yeah. There's something there to think about, for sure.
By the way, so far, and this is gonna jinx it for sure. As far as bugs, it seems like everything's working fine.
Yeah. 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 These are just kind of improvements that should have that would be relevant also to the previous version. So that's good.
I like the bounce. On consideration, it's grown on me.
Okay, that's good.
Not because I've started winning the games or anything. But
Not at all. Let's try co-op mode with 2 people, and then maybe I will join you, because I think it would be interesting with 3, and we'll do it with low bounciness. You will find out why very soon. And
are our
pitch.
bouncers coordinated?
Yeah, I mean, you will see what's like the co-op mode. You're basically tied to each other.
So it's like a 3-legged race through the game.
In a way.
Because is killers a new parameter for gaps?
No?
I don't think I've been in a game with them.
I think there was one game. with
So just the
killers.
2 of us, right?
Yeah.
Click start.
Yeah.
Alright.
Oh,
Ooh, game deleted.
something
That's dramatic.
happened to my. Wait. So I have a bug. Oh,
That previous game code sounds like a DJ name, Rick's Mix.
does it work for you? Because mine crashed.
No, it was deleted. Oh, should I try again?
I got
With the same
game.
link?
I don't think if the game's deleted, I doubt it
Yeah.
let you back.
Wait a second. Let me try it again.
We will never get to experience the DJ wonder of Rick's Mix.
No. Probably not. So
Was
if
that
I-
hopefully not?
Probably not.
I was like, hopefully
game
not.
not found now.
Yeah. Okay.
See, I jinxed it. Now we're getting into Bugland.
That's good. I think it's because of the co-op mode, though.
Yeah, probably.
Let's see if I join you as a player. Maybe it will work. Because I did test it to some extent.
Yeah. I'm in.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, shall we?
Yes.
Hey. That's funny. I like that. Wait, wait. Yeah, we can't have you leading here because the two of us won't fit.
Yeah, there's no game over.
You didn't. Connie, you need to move higher so you can get to the end.
I think I did. No, I didn't program the game over in
Yeah.
any case, but.
You're not
No,
even at
oh,
100%.
No, but I cannot. I cannot.
Does this mean you officially lost the co-op mode?
No, it's co-op. Don't try to impose. Okay.
I mean, if we're looking at who's lower at the bottom of the screen.
We are all connected, Taiba.
Yes, but who is furthest into the grey? I even have a random yellow halo that I don't know what's caused it.
Oh, that we all have that because we are the.
Oh, is it so you can see who you are?
Yeah.
Hi guys, I'm here.
Hello.
Great. So we can now try it with 4 players.
As
and
long
with,
as we don't have an audience.
No. And with medium bounciness. Should we try a different? I want to try it with the different control scheme. Let's try it with duration. I don't know if it's if it's actually possible. Maybe it's gonna be too difficult, but let's see. Okay.
I don't think we're gonna make it. No way. This is hilarious. The visuals are excellent.
try a much easier level, I think.
I feel like with this, you just need to get the person at the end there first. I was so determined to get to the end of that track.
I we would be here for like hours, I think. So now
I
it's
mean, but if we make it, we would learn a lot on the way.
I feel like a lot of this is around like strategy for like if you're in the middle, you can't go first on any of the thin
Yeah.
gaps.
yeah, I think yeah, you should know when not to make sound. I
Oh,
think.
can each of us? That's really annoying. Can each of us have a different control scheme?
No, but
I love that was a categoric absolutely not. It's like I'm not even considering this as a development option.
that's not what I said.
You said no.
I mean, at the moment you cannot do that, but yeah, that would be
Interesting.
interesting and I think difficult in a different way. Shira, are you joining us?
Oh, yeah. Very sorry. I missed it.
I'm at one of those moments where do I go back and then go back in at the end so I get one of the ends?
You know, sometimes when you make a sound and the sound is like in your head, that's what I'm hearing all the time now.
Hooray!
Nice. That was good.
That was nice.
I guess the way now
Didn't
is
even
to,
get to finish the game.
yeah, it's now to kind of gradually increase the difficulty. Oh, by the way, Taiba, speaking of 99%,
Oh no, I already picked up on that.
I have to go. I'm sorry. Okay, I need to because Anna's
Yeah.
crying again.
yeah,
Okay,
no worries.
bye.
Thanks,
Bye
Shira.
Bye.
Yeah, I think we can slowly conclude this this session, but it's good things to try in the next one. Any final thoughts, comments, remarks?
There's something fun about the co-op mode because there's still some chaotic moments, but then there's some very clear, like, the whole group is doing this now, which is nice.
The next thing
I
here
like
is
the-
teams, but yeah, sorry. And then you have 2 lines.
I was
here.
gonna say, I like the co-op mode, but I do wonder if it worked better in teams because I think having been in the middle of those chains for everyone on the games, I think it's quite different to when you're on the end because basically you have to decide to not do stuff a lot of the time for like the benefit of the team, if that makes sense. So it's like which I guess is kind of part of the co-op mode thing, but rather than being able to just like work your way through the tracks, there's bits where it's like, no, I need to wait for someone to go first so that everyone can actually make it through the gap. And I just wanted to be on one of the ends.
That's maybe also something I could change because now it follows the order of joining to the staging area, so this maybe could and should be randomized.
Is there any reason for us to spread out in the sense that even if it's just two of us, where one needs to go right and the other one needs to go left so that the rope catches on something, right? Like some extra thing so that it's not just about always doing the same thing as a group, but that sometimes you want to spread out horizontally in some way.
So is this almost like having two gaps? Because I was just thinking with based on some of the things that happen. So like having two gaps where one player has to go through one and one has to go through the other, but they're connected. So you both go one way, and then you almost have to work your way back along on different lines so the other can go through the right gap. Because like based on
There's some games where there's like color coded doors, and so I'm red, so I can only go through the red door, and so on.
I mean, it could also be just like collecting items or power ups, so somebody could kind of get that. And the rope is already quite a bit stretchy, but maybe I can make it even more.
I think there's something quite nice about when the players are on different levels like that, though, where like it happened a few times where one person goes down and then they like go along and the other person's still up.
Yeah.
Could you do something where, I don't know, this is it's not really helpful, but like where the rope can hurt the killers, so add killers to this mode, and then the only way to fight back is to try and then like hit them right with the rope and not with the I don't know, something weird like that.
I mean, you could like, particularly if you look at the way we played it earlier, you could do it where the killers have a co-op mode and the like achiever doesn't, which would actually probably slow the killers down quite a lot.
Damage. Yeah, that could be interesting.
So it's like we're trying to like
them in a net.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I think it's I guess it's really complicates a lot of the movement for the role that gets this. That's really a handicap, right?
I mean, the excuse,
in the literal sense.
Unlike some of the other complications, this one, the reason to add it is slightly musical in that you want every once in a while for a grouped pair, triplet, whatever, to go in opposite directions. So there is a slight musical reason here.
Yeah.
Now it's just finding a good, an efficient excuse for that, basically.
Yeah, I mean, currently I think you just need to wait for somebody to move in a different direction, because there were these situations where you just couldn't move if the one at the top didn't move the other side. But yeah, really have like this kind of
some kind of reason to spread, basically.
Yeah.
I had an idea actually which could be quite interesting for the co-op mode. So at the moment the connection's quite short. Could you do it so it's long, but it can't be like reduced in length or bent? So however you're moving through the track, you have to keep like an equal amount of distance between the players. Yeah, so it's almost like that kind of like magnet repelling sort of thing, where essentially like because of that you have to take a really convoluted way through the track so that you're kind of able to complete it while maintaining that distance.
I mean, 3 players stuck in a triangle, and so the first one has to go down and the other 2, right? It's like a really weird
like twist through the entire
you have to kind of rotate through the map.
I think
like you definitely need some flexibility in the shape, otherwise it'd just be impossible. But I think there's something quite interesting in the idea of, I guess, things where rather than just moving through as quickly as possible, you're kind of stopping people from doing that. So sometimes people do have to move in different directions.
Yeah. I think this is something that would be possible. It would be possible to test it quite easily, because what I need to do is just add to the game setup the possibility to configure the distance and the stiffness of the thing, and then you can trial different combinations. So I think what you proposed is just long distance and high stiffness.
Yeah.
Yeah. The issue with all of this now I'm thinking is that my goal is kind of to test bugs for different games, and the moment I add something is like this Pandora box of new possibilities. So I will
to the
have to
long
manage
list
it.
of-
Yeah,
Add it to the long list of things to maybe try someday.
yeah, yeah.
ScoreCraft wish list.
Yeah. Great. That's really fantastic. The
Not
list.
many bugs either.
No, although there was something with the co-op mode which kind of breaks the game, which I will have to investigate.
Yeah, two people doesn't work for some reason.
Yeah. Thanks for playing. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you in the next session. Goodbye.